Blog Talk Radio.
Sometimes I wanna light up underneath the no smoking sign. Sometimes I wish they'd tell me how justice got so blind. I wish they'd just leave me alone, 'cause I'm doing alright. You can take your change on down the road and leave me here with mine. 'Cause that ain't my America, that ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam old Uncle Sam, but I ain't letting you. I'm mad as hell and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They ain't us, that ain't my America. That ain't my America.
And good morning here. This is Stone Mountain Consultants here on this weekly show called Tech Lunch Roundtable.
Back by popular demand, people wanted us to come back.
Yes, that is true. We had made a comment that we were thinking of leaving Blog Talk Radio and going just strictly on YouTube, but
Many people emailed and let us know that saying that, stay there, please.
right. So we're back here on Blog Talk Radio. Of course, I am Jason,
I'm Mish.
and our website is smc.io.
Mm-hmm.
This, of course, is Tech Lunch Roundtable here, where we talk about tech news, anything news related in the technology industry.
Mm-hmm. And how it relates to you and your privacy, personal, basically how it affects you.
Correct.
Because not enough people out there. I think about this brand new technology came out. It's gonna be awesome, but it's actually bad because or at least there's a side note that it's maybe reporting your location, which means that anybody, and if somebody has access to that, they know exactly where you are, which means that they can do things. So it may not be as what's the word? Scrupulous.
Right. Sort of a double-edged sword.
Yep.
Our phone number to call in here is, apparently I don't have that open anymore,
818-739-8894.
Again, our website is smc.io. There you can click on the radio show notes for each show that we've done. It has links to articles that we refer to in our show and any recommendations that we have. So you can go over and click on that. And while you're there, why don't you click on the Twitter and Facebook, Google, and even YouTube links if you'd like, and then you can watch us or listen to us on that social site as well. Sometimes it might be a little easier. Specifically for YouTube, it will email you once we upload the show to YouTube, and then you can kind of listen to it at any time you'd like, at your leisure.
Pleasure. Blogger.
Our email address is help@smc.io for folks who just want to email us questions or suggestions or anything. We, of course, are a consultant company where we deal with technology. It runs from simple things like computer issues to websites to email, privacy, setting up networks, setting up servers, stuff like that. So certainly email us. Our phone number is also on our website as well if you want to give us a call as well. Let's see here. I think that's pretty much it. So
for housekeeping.
For our housekeeping. Of course, we are back after a number of weeks of being off the air. A bunch of news articles, some big, some not.
The government's still shut down, technically.
No, it's still up. It's up. It's officially up.
Oh,
Went up overnight.
So now gardens will get, the lawn will get mown. I mean, because, I hear all these things like, all the shutdown, all these bad things are happening. It's like government buildings don't get maintained.
Apparently. That is correct. Anyhow, so let's see, where do we want to start? Usually I update the website as we progress through the show. So you'll see the Tech Lunch Roundtable for October 17th, 2013. Has more information in. I'll remove it. But let's see, a couple of things. Let's just do this in order. Twitter is introducing a new way of using direct messaging. They're slowly introducing changes to how it handles the direct message or DMs and controlling the types of links that can be sent through the DMs from non-verified accounts. So you really don't have to be on Facebook, Twitter anymore to do this, or the person that doesn't need to be on Twitter for you to send a message. They've not released the changes to all users, so they're still kind of testing it out. But it appears that the links in the direct messages to URLs other than Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram will be blocked. Of course, we usually tell folks that you should not be very careful of the links that you click on from, especially unknown sources in your inbox.
Yes.
But just not through email, but through Twitter and Facebook as well.
Yep.
But anyway, so that's kind of news where, again, you can send direct messages via Twitter to non-Twitter users. And you can set up your settings within Twitter to allow to receive messages from those folks or not.
I really don't use the messaging service on Twitter at all, because what has to happen is both you have to follow the person and the person has to follow you in order to do a
direct message, right?
Direct message, which if they're not following you, it's like, oh,
right.
So that's why I don't use it. Pain in the pooper.
Yeah, I don't. For my personal account, I don't really send messages out on Twitter.
Nope.
Nobody really follows me. That's worth it. So
yeah.
But on our business account, our SMC one, I think it's Stone MTN Consult. Yeah, we certainly do send out links and stuff like that, and of course, they are verified.
Nice. Verified. You have been verified?
Right.
Well, okay. A couple Adobe thingies. There was a news article about how all of the Adobe has had an epically abysmal security record. Basically, the worst. Probably they have nothing but holes everywhere. You have Swiss cheese. Well, this is like baby Swiss. All these little holes everywhere that allows people to gain access. Now, everyone with a computer has Adobe software at some point, whether it be PDF files, Adobe Acrobat, or watching a video with YouTube with Adobe Flash Player. But customers likely aren't fully aware of how riddled the security flaws Adobe software is. A former Apple CEO, Steve Jobs, in 2010 addressed the issue in an open letter rant about Adobe's security, blaming the company's Flash Player for being the number one reason Macs crash, and citing Flash for having one of the worst security records of 2009. And on a side note, that has not gotten better. And there's even a list of all the biggest, in 2008, 1,000 hacked websites infected computers delivering a fake Flash Player updates posted on CNN. Let's see, 2009, a variable in the Reader, which is the Adobe Reader, let hackers open backdoors into people's computer. 2010, it's like every year they have let's just make the worst thing ever. We'll go to the last year because it's pretty much one every year. Hackers gain access to the Adobe Security verification system by tapping into its own internal servers. It just shows that just because a company is huge and, well, huge, because Adobe is huge, one of the largest companies out there. I mean, next to like Apple, Microsoft, Google, they're probably in the top 10 because I mean they have billions of dollars. It just shows that just because something's a large corporation doesn't mean they make a good product. It'd be nice if not Shockwave. What is the one Microsoft made? Silverlight. Yeah. They got rid of it. Yes. Right. It's gone. Bye-bye. Although some place like Netflix still uses Silverlight, which is weird.
Right.
But I mean, if there was a third party, Flash capability, programs, because all it is the player needs to be just access this file in a certain way. Granted, may not be able to patent it, but you could probably put one out there. I wonder if there's an open source Flash player. That would be interesting to know. I'm going to do a little research while you do the next news article.
Well, one question I have is, if somebody knows, they can certainly tweet us, Facebook, email us, call us, or whatever.
Shell.
When I play a video, I use Chrome. When I play a video on YouTube, sometimes it's using Flash, other times it's using HTML5. And sometimes it switches between the two.
Huh.
Like last night, I was watching a video, and it was HTML5, and then halfway through it, it refreshed itself and went to Flash. And then as a side note of the side note, sometimes I could, they're new controls, sometimes I could speed it up, sometimes I can't. Sometimes that option is there, sometimes it's not. Sometimes the option to make it bigger or smaller is there. Sometimes the option to annotate, whatever, is there or not, and they're mixed and matched. I have no idea.
Well, that's whatever Google or whoever wants to give you the access to.
Well, I'm wondering if it's a format that they uploaded in.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
And then it takes Google a little time to then reformat it. Because, for example, I know, like, when we've uploaded videos that are in high def, the standard def is first available, then the high def is. But I don't think that explains why it switches between Flash and HTML5. The HTML5 is easier on my computer.
Actually, HTML5 is probably easier on everybody's computer. Right. Because it actually doesn't actually access a plugin. It just renders it inside the page.
Correct. So the next thing is Microsoft. This was last Tuesday, actually, but their Patch Tuesday was out, and they actually finally fixed a huge zero-day vulnerability in Internet Explorer that's already been exploited in the wild and probably by the NSA.
Probably.
Or maybe they fixed that hole and then it created a new hole for the NSA to bunch in. It's only for 32-bit platforms only, though. Some computers running 64-bit versions. Of course, any recent computer, because any new computer with Windows 7 was typically 64-bit.
Yep. Most.
But again, I've seen the updates on our computers. Just make sure you're downloading your updates as well.
Sorry, I was still typing.
Blackberry seeks to reassure customers with an open letter on its future, hoping to tamp down the concerns of customers and investors over the uncertainty of its future. Canadian smartphone Blackberry is mounting a major media campaign to tell the world that it's not going anywhere. Now, did we mention it last week? But
last time?
They, of course, announced we already covered it, where they had almost a $1 billion loss. But where was it? But anyhow, It looks like the original owners, or creators of BlackBerry, wants to buy it back. But they sent an open letter to major media outlets, including the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal, to set the record straight about the firm's valuability for the future. What does this letter say? They posted it on the website. Basically, it just goes out and says, you've no doubt seen the headlines about BlackBerry, wondering what's up. You can continue to count on BlackBerry. How do we know? We have substantial cash on hand, and I think they do something like $3 or $4 billion in cash on hand.
Ooh.
They're restructuring with the goal to cut our expenses by 50%. That's the layoffs. We have completely revamped our device portfolio this year with the launch of BlackBerry 10, which, as a side note, has not been that successful. 2 all-touch and 2 hybrid touch and QWERTY phones, and all running the 3rd update of our new platform, the best class in security. That is true. BlackBerry phones are known for their high-end security that no other phone can match. That's why a lot of government officials and countries use these BlackBerry devices because of the high-end security. But anyhow, so that's that.
Huh. Interesting.
And of course, this is not. Start adding these to the page
Interweb?
here. Yeah, but of course, this is no surprise here. The obviously it's 2 weeks old now. Yeah, 17 days, I guess. This came up first, right?
Yeah.
The healthcare exchange is still broken. People are still having problems.
Healthcare.org or the .gov.
I think it's .gov. They're still having problems logging in and stuff like that, and it's very slow.
I noticed that too. I was playing around just before the show. I was like, let's see what go to it and see. I mean, it loads very slowly, and I think it's written in Joomla.
Really?
Either that or it's because it looks very much like a blogspot or like a what is that other one that everybody uses? It's cheap. It's like Joomla. It's a
WordPress.
Yeah, WordPress. It's very much. I mean, because it looks like it's just articles put in on the thing and has and a couple like how the pictures are. It just looks so templatey. It's like I understand it for a regular. We make websites and we use a template, which is fine. But this is the government. How are they using a template?
Yeah, they spend tens of millions of dollars on it.
Yeah,
and there is history on it. I guess the Canadian company or the company that's owned by a Canadian company that created it, their parent company was fired from, is it Quebec or Ottawa? I think it's Ottawa, health department or whatever, because they failed on their website, never came to fruition, and apparently our government only opened one bid, which was this company.
Wow. Well, they were pressed for time. It was Friday. They were going to go home early. Who cares about having good things? Wow.
And I had read that a couple days ago, they were going to announce how many people have signed up, but I still don't see that. I've not heard of anything yet. But the numbers. I guess they did say something like 500,000 folks have checked it out.
Mm-hmm. I think only 1 or 2 people have actually gotten it.
Well, they're having trouble finding people who have actually signed up.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between who have checked it out than who have signed up.
Yeah, I
just checked out the website right now, too.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it because, of course, if you don't get it, they fine you.
And this is, speaking of which, enrolling in Obamacare allows your government to link your. Basically, what it does is, what does it say here?
And
of course, they record your IP address, but of course have all your other information. But in the fine print, at least of the Maryland Obamacare exchange, states, we may share information provided in your application with the appropriate authorities for law enforcement and audit activities. So they are sharing it with the Policia. I'm not sure why they need to do that.
They pretty much got kind of wrapped around their little finger anyway.
Right. So, and apparently they ask everything about you, like, you know, how many times a week do you wear underwear? What color underwear you wear?
Bank accounts, surfing habits.
How many times you poop your pants?
None.
Stuff like that. So, I guess it's very invasive. But some people are into that, if you know what I mean.
Some people live in Detroit.
Well, we'll be right back after this break. Do you have a small business? Do you have a hobby that you want to share with others? You need your own website. It's not as complicated as you think. The website is much, much more than having a simple Facebook page. You don't own or control what you post on Facebook. Did you know that? With your own website, you control and maintain your own content. It's all yours. We here at Stone Mountain Consultants can help you from the start in creating your own space on the information superhighway. We can help you create your own domain, start up your website. We can even help you maintain it. Call Stone Mountain Consultants at 276-664-1476 or check out our website at smc.io. Again, that's 276-664-1476 or check out our website at smc.io. We'll be more than happy to help.
iPhone 5 NSA is the best surveillance device to date. It is a meticulously designed tracker, recorder, and data collector. Every single government agency, authority, and police officer has been considered to make sure iPhone 5 NSA can keep you safe and protect your freedom. This care, this consideration, it extends to how we collect information pertaining to you and everyone you know. And it's what led us to create Touch ID, the largest name-to-fingerprint database in the world.
Touch ID defines the next step of how we use your iPhone. With just a touch of your home button, Touch ID reads your fingerprint so you can collect the latest apps or purchase shiny new Apple products, while we track your location through GPS and transmit data back to corporations and government.
Our employees are literally working around the clock, in some cases 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, to assemble each iPhone 5 NSA individually. And now we require all of them to sign an anti-suicide pledge to ensure our production meets the consumer's demand. And just in case that doesn't work, we've installed suicide nets all along the perimeter of our 24-to-a-room dormitories to gently catch even the most demoralized and broken down souls and safely return them to the workplace, so there's enough iPhones for you and your entire family.
iPhone 5 NSA uses speech recognition technology, so you don't have to bother yourself with remembering things or consulting your brain for any information ever again. Just ask it for the time, the day of the week, what your name is, sports scores, anything, really. You can ask it anything. It puts your brain in your hand and into our database.
We've also developed what we like to call blackout technology, which allows authorities to block video and photos whenever they feel your security is in danger. For instance, if a political rally is ambushed by a conspiracy theorist demanding answers, the police can black out every phone in the crowd, so his questions are never heard or seen by anyone.
Reporters, do your job, please. Ask some questions.
And once he's silenced and his coordinates are locked in, iPhone 5 NSA takes care of the rest.
Just a question, man. How are we supposed to know the truth when we can't even ask a question? It was just a question. That's all it was.
iPhone 5 NSA, aiming to put your freedom in the crosshairs.
And we are back after a small break. That was JoyCamp. They make politically activized satire.
Okay.
Satire on YouTube. And that was the one on the new iPhone 5 and how basically the fingerprint knows what you're doing. It actually can turn on anytime you want. And it's pretty much just watching it all the time. It's a voyeur.
Right, I'll put a link to on the page for them.
Yep. So to give them
a whole bunch of
credit. Yep.
Okay, apparently it's not joycamp.com.
No. They have a JoyCamp is their YouTube.
Oh, the Ubu page.
Yes, which I just downloaded an HTML5. What's it called? Extension that you can switch to the HTML5 on your Chrome browser, which means that YouTube doesn't suck anymore. So the problem with Flash, which we've already gone over, is that it takes a lot of resources. If you have multiple flashes going at the same time, kills it, and basically just is a pain in the butt. So if you're watching a YouTube and all of a sudden it's buffering or I'm sorry, YouTube has this problem. It gives you a little frowny face because it can't handle some things, and unless your computer is like $10,000 and it's got more power than a locomotive, it will crash. So what I was doing while we were doing the break, I found an extension that will force the YouTube to Chrome to show it in a HTML5, which is a local format for it.
So it does seem to work. For the heck of it, I will put it on our show notes.
See, things that happen when you're just sitting around hating on YouTube.
Right.
Wait. Now I just need to find one for regular Flash, because other places use Flash too. Anyways,
right.
Continuing on our exploits into the news. I thought this was interesting. Former NSA contractor designs, quote, surveillance-proof font. Can graphic design help protect your privacy? Sang Mon, a designer and former NSA contractor, thinks so. Just months after Edward Snowden controversially, I can't never say that word, lifted the lid on digital surveillance. Of course, he wasn't the first, but he was the most widely known one.
Right.
People knew about this stuff a lot, but he just Columbus discovered America. He rediscovered it. A lot of other people knew about it. Whatever. Anyway. Conducted by the U.S. and other governments, issued online privacy is back in the spotlight. Earlier this month, which I'm not sure is, yes, it is this month. Actually, no, September, because we've been off for a little while. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg expressed concern that users' trust in the internet companies had been damaged by the revelations. Well, he's admitted that he spies on people. He hey, that's a cute girl or whatever. Pretty much, creeper. He just doesn't want people to stop using Facebook, because if people knew that you were watching it, But Sangmon's response was more direct. The Korean designer has created 4 new fonts called ZXX, which is, they're all capitalized, or for a corporation, that aim to disrupt the optical character recognition (OCR) systems used by Google and others to analyze them. And there's a couple pictures of it. There's a video here. It looks actually very. If anybody knows those CAPTCHA codes, you're about to create a Google account. What is that? That's a C. That kind of looks like an X. No, that's a K. 2
Yeah. I hate those.
And a 4.
Freaking annoying.
Yes, they are. But what makes them freaking annoying is the fact that they are a computer can't read them. So what he did was he created, and I'm just going through the fonts. He created fonts that are basically, I guess MC Escher would love them. Like you can actually read it because your brain can, decipher that that's an A. The H has a little S in the lower half. The R kind of looks like a P, but it has a tiny little thing at the bottom for the R. The N has like a what is that thing when a Rorschach. There's a lot of Rorschach stuff on them where there's basically just lines and stuff like that. The L kind of looks actually has a bunch of stuff hanging off of it. So it's very it actually looks very interesting. I mean, I would actually use that because like the Q kind of looks like an R. And the R actually could be confused for a Q. So it basically creates a either false positive or a what's the word? Basically confuses it and puts false information. He had a couple different A's here. He has an A, but it's broken up, and on the right side it's blank space, but there's another A in there. So it just confuses it. I like it. Basically he says that he overlays noise onto it.
True.
And the noise is just like a noise. If Jason just goes and I'm talking regular, people won't be able to understand it as well. And the computers are stupid.
And
I like it. I like it a lot.
On that same note, a Illinois man has developed a Gmail browser extension designed to randomly insert fake, nonsensical stories into the signature of every email someone sends out to confuse the NSA's surveillance operations. The extension is called ScareMail, and it takes keywords from an extensive U.S. Department of Homeland Security list used to troll social media websites and utilizes them to disrupt the NSA's surveillance efforts by making NSA search results useless. So buzzwords such as Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, breach, threat, death, and hostage are among the others. And it does work. I installed it, and it does put a signature in every one. And, like, for example, I'll do one right now. So what theory is, this would be flagged because it has these words in it that they're supposed to be looking for. And if everybody does it, then
it just makes it useless. It's kind of like if you just picked up, if you know that your phone is tapped, if you just pick up the phone and just pick up a paper somewhere and just start reading off letters, words, like a couple locations, some numbers, it just screws with them because you're giving them false information.
Right. So here it says, following text generated by ScareMail. It recovered a special eye as if you watched aided with until a few Federal Bureau of Investigation dead. The way fish is flexible, very loose, and fragmentary. Some world us want hacked a billion weapons grades. All parts of the lock that we recovering extra USSS and play quiet, strain very quiet indeed. Here we plot. So, and it actually goes on and on and on. So,
can I get this for my Outlook?
I was if you wanted to use Relic, I was just going to take some extra stuff, but have it generate that and copy and paste it into it.
Yep.
But somebody may do it. So of course this is not a surprise. I knew this was going to happen or happening. The NSA and GCHQ is the British version of NSA, has targeted the Tor network, which is the anonymous quote-unquote underground network that protects anonymity of web users. And they actually broke into the Tor in order to arrest a few people. So, again, more proof that you're not more anonymous there than if you're on the normal web.
Huh.
Let's see, you covered that one. I thought that this was interesting. CNN had an article actually
that wasn't communist news.
A couple weeks ago. They found the woman who is the voice of Siri. So it's an interesting article. I guess she had recorded the, messages for this years ago. And I guess a friend of hers had, when the iPhone 4S came out, sent her basic message that says, "This is you, isn't it?" And she listened in, and she was like, "Yeah," and she remembered recording those. She didn't know who she was recording it for. She was just recording it. She's a voiceover for a lot of things. In fact, she's the same voiceover that you hear in the airports.
Mm-hmm.
Once you listen to
white
her,
zone is for unloading and unloading only.
Yep. And also for phone systems. So her voice is known all over the place. So it's an interesting article.
Well, Juan Valdez, please pick up a white courtesy phone.
Right. Also, speaking of Apple, Apple is expected to announce new iPads at an event next week.
Didn't they just come out with a new iPad?
I don't think it's no iPad. Including a new iPad mini. Supposedly it might have higher resolution display, speed improvements, of course. This is going to be the 5th generation iPad, and it's going to get a new slimmed down design. It will be October 22nd. So what is that? Next Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
You can do things on Tuesdays. I don't see anything else.
Next news article?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess.
Last
it
one?
sounds like the evolutionary upgrade, not a revolutionary upgrade.
Yeah, it's like the S line. It's really just a speed boost at best.
Right.
Why your face might appear in Google ads and how to stop it. Basically, with the latest, I guess you could say, trend in advertising, basically like the latest security and privacy stuff on Facebook is that they can use anything that, of your stuff, your picture and your likeness for ads and to make money. Google is doing the same thing. Basically, if you have a Google Plus and let's say you bought something like something or whatever, they will use your face and say that it's awesome or whatnot. Although, looking through, I think they also can actually just put your face in and just put endorsements onto it. So basically it puts a face to it. But
right.
Yeah.
That's right, just like Facebook. And there is the article that we'll share will actually show you how to remove your face.
Yeah. That's why I don't put, people ask me, why don't you put your picture of you on your Facebook or your Google Plus? It's like, you've seen the newest privacy things? They can do anything they want. So I just keep, I have a picture of Deadpool, Marvel's, I guess you could say, anti-superhero. So it's just, there you go. There's
right.
my face. It's a mask. There you go. So it's one of those things of, you have to kind of be smart about it. Like even Jason, he doesn't have his picture up. I took down every picture I have on there of my family, anybody I know. I mean, it's not their place to use my pictures for their uses. I don't want that. So, bye-bye. Okay.
And lastly, internet giants plan to track users even more.
How you can even do that more?
According to a new report by Wired, companies such as Microsoft and Google are developing increasingly sophisticated means of collecting consumer data online. Of course, the goal is to harvest the new data for advertising purposes, But as noted in the article, there's always concern that the NSA could gain access. Could. Microsoft in particular is reportedly developing new tracking techniques that would be capable of recording when users transition from web to apps, and even between separate devices like PCs, tablets, phones, and video game consoles. Let's see. Would only be available to authorized third-party users. Yeah, sure. Let's see. What is Google?
I'm currently downloading this EXX font.
Ooh. So the bottom line is everybody, except you and me, and you and you and you and you, or every company is spying on you.
Yep, pretty much. I don't want to spy on anybody. I don't have enough time to spy on people.
Unless she's hot.
Well, even that. I mean, I got other things. I got to, cut some firewood, keep the place clean, keep up with my Facebook friends.
Oh, if they're real friends.
They probably aren't.
All right, we'll be right back. If you have any comments or questions, give us a call at 818-739-8894.
Email is critical for business. In fact, it's revolutionized the way we conduct business. But when it's not working or optimized, it causes major problems. Did you know that 1/3 of in-house email outages last more than 24 hours? Many businesses say sales numbers are impacted after only 1 hour without email. And today's workforces are more virtual than ever, requiring instant access to email, up-to-date calendars, contacts, and tasks from anywhere at any time. But not all email is worth your time. It's estimated that more than 80% of email is spam. So the question is, are you managing your email, or is your email managing you?
Call the Computer Tamers at 860-456-1310 or visit thecomputertamers.com.
And welcome back here on the Tech Lunch Roundtable on our last leg of show. We actually watched a movie, which we knew was coming out, but what finally was released about smart meters. And of course, they covered a little more than just smart meters. It's called Take Back Your Power. I'll actually put a link on the show notes. But it is a movie about smart meters and what they're doing or trying to do and how we can stop it. It was very good. It explains how electromagnetic radiation can affect you. And we're not just talking smart meters, but
pretty much all
waves, from Wi-Fi to cell phones to the tower that's across the street, and how it can affect you. And of course, what a smart meter is, it's a digital meter that monitors the electricity in the house. Their advertising campaign is that it will lower your monthly bill.
Yeah.
But most folks who have had it on there have noticed it going up. But every electronic device in your house has a fingerprint, basically, to it. So they will know when you turn on your TV, how much you watch on TV, your computer, how much you use your computer, your coffee grinder, your stove if it's electric, your vibrator, your hair dryer, all of that stuff. They will know that. So it's pretty invasive. Some utility companies have actually gone on private property and broken into houses to put this on. And they have video of that. Mm-hmm. Some companies, this one was in Illinois, which was actually earlier this year, they actually came with police and arrested the homeowners because they would try to keep the guys from entering private property. One was when one owner in L.A. did stop them. The utility company shut off their power for 7 weeks. But I think it's a very good movie that you should watch and even get involved. But Mish can go all
nerdified,
geeky on you and explain, for the next few minutes at least, why it's important to watch. And
well, okay, to get all nerdy on everybody, basically what it talks about is the RF radiation, which is basically radio frequency. That's what everything puts out. When if you had an old school television, when you turn it on and you hear that whee, it heats up, that's actually RF. Anything electric makes RF radiation. It's just how it's a vibration that comes off of all electronic stuff, just because how it attenuates your channels. So what the smart meter, and it goes into more depth, does is that it scans your house for those attenuations. Now, by doing that, it's dirtying your power. So kind of like if you have in your house and you want to see where a leak is, and you put food coloring in certain parts where the leak, well, that dirties the water. Same basic thing. It's putting signals into your circuitry of your house, and it's creating dirty powers, which is bad. The biggest thing, which most people should, this is just automatic, get it off my house kind of thing, is that it's not UL approved, which means that if it's determined that, and they have been known to cause fires, house fires, is that insurance won't cover it. They will not cover it because it's not UL approved. Because how it works, it can't be UL approved because it emits radiation, it scans your house, so it's one of those things. But everybody should be aware of the fact that these smart meters are dangerous. And also, other than the radiation they put out, they also caused your actual wires to produce radiation too. If, say, you live in a certain area and you get brownouts every so often, like lights go dim, 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 and only in certain parts of the house, and then other parts of the house later on. That's the smart meter attenuating it, and because the circuitry doesn't, basically it's like, okay, I'm getting a signal, so it doesn't know what to do, so it confuses the power, which then makes the brownout or the flickering occur. So it's a bad thing. But like Jason said, I definitely recommend getting the
video.
The video, sorry. It's a documentary to basically to learn more and how to get rid of it, because everybody in your neighborhood, if they're all being in this little dome of radiation, you can lose your hair, you could get cancer. It's a lot of bad things if you don't sleep well at night. Now, say you can't get rid of it. There are some ways you can actually mitigate some of the radiation, but most of it is just get rid of it. Get rid of it as fast as possible. But until then, there was actually there's a website. Jason, do you remember? I had given it. I gave it out a long time ago. It was like RF Freedom, or it had all those things to scan and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't remember what that was.
I'm gonna look up smart meter. It's basically they had a lot of they have an RF meter, which they are expensive, but you can share it. Let's see if I can find it quickly before we run out of time. But basically, start meters. But one of the things I noticed in there was that they had a like a mosquito netting for your bed. That was was a Faraday cage. So, say you're traveling to, Buenos Aires, not like New York. You take one of those with you. You can actually stop your, you're about to go to bed, and it will stop it from affecting you while you sleep. Because that's a lot of people have sleep problems, mainly because of that. Other than the lack of vitamins that you don't get because our food is depleted. But actually, once I find the site, I'll put it up on the show notes so you can actually take a look at it. But there's a lot of good products out there that will help you basically stop this from affecting you as much. Because say you live in the city, you're getting bombarded by radio waves, and say you did remove your smart meter, but the neighbor is only like 20 feet away, so you need to your house is safe, so you need to actually protect yourself. Metal and water inhibit RF, so create some barriers, some shielding for it, you should be good to go. And I've ranted about 5 minutes on that. Good to go.
Well, the link is on our page for the show notes.
Very good.
Today's show. I might even put something on the main page too.
Yes. Because your life is worth keeping around. So I think that's it for this time. Check us out next week. Toodles.